Today I thought that I would talk about the fishing net of John 21. In my book, The RH Negative Factor, I alluded to the fact that perhaps we could be a part of the fishing net of John 21. The reason why I came to this conclusion was that whenever I found out that the Basque genetic marker was given the name M153, I immediately thought of the John 21 story. And I thought it was interesting that the Basque marker, which the Basque have the most Rh negative blood type in the world, that they would give them this marker, that number. I thought that there had to be a reason. And the more and more that I've looked into this, the more I've found a lot of evidence to suggest that we could be here to raise the vibratory rate of this planet, to prepare for the harvest that is mentioned in the book of Revelations. Now, the story of the net does not just start in the John 21 New Testament story in the Bible. It's also told about in the Egyptian Book of the Dead. In the spell 153A and 153B, it talks about a man talking about how he wants to be a fisherman and not to be the fish. He wants to, catch the fish, not be the fish. So I think that's interesting that it was also part of the Egyptian culture as well. What is the net? The net is the energy that is all around us. It is made up of light in the form of the electromagnetic spectrum and sound. We can raise the vibration rate of our planet or this net into a higher dimension. Now, looking at the torus, the middle of the torus would be like a wormhole. And this is where all energy comes out of a torus. It's called 0 point energy. The story of the net is also interwoven into the Great Pyramid. And a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of the numbers that come up are suggestive of the fishing net of John 21. For instance, going from the Queen's Chamber to the King's Chamber in the ascending passageway is 153 feet. So that definitely suggests the story of John 21. Okay, the slope of the Great Pyramid is 51 degrees. Well, that divides into 153. 51 times 3 is 153. The original opening passageway to get into the Great Pyramid was at the 17th level. And then, of course, 17 times 9 is 153. But also, if you count the first 17 numbers, like 1 plus 2 plus 3, all the way to 17, you'll get the number 153. So the symbolism is encoded in math. Now, the Great Pyramid does not come out and encode the science. That's, you have to look into the physics of how this works out. How can you be a fisher of men, as Jesus told the apostles to do? Well, the one way that I have figured out that we can be a fisher of men is to raise the vibration of this planet. My theory is that Rh negatives come in at a higher vibratory rate. And there's a principle called resonance where we can very slowly bring up the vibratory rate. People around us will resonate with our higher frequencies, and that will automatically raise the vibration rate. So it's been about 2,000 years of increasing the numbers of the Grail bloodline, and that should start increasing the vibration rate of this planet. So the best genetic marker of M153, I think, connects to the Rh negative blood type. Another interesting thing that I found out was whenever I was researching about wormholes or the Einstein-Rosen bridge, I found out that the physicist models of wormholes look a lot like a net. The more that I looked into everything, I finally came to the conclusion that the Holy of Holies was a hole. Holy, H-O-L-Y, and holy, H-O-L-E-Y, sound the same. From what I've read from near-death experiences, the spirit leaves the body, and it is made up of light, and then it goes through a tunnel towards the light, and this tunnel is a wormhole. So the Holy of Holies, you could describe it as being like a net, because it looks like a net from all the physicist models that I've seen on the internet. So we're capturing souls in the net, and they're going back to the light, or back to the Garden of Eden. This takes a higher vibration rate to go into the spirit, to be a spirit. There is a really interesting website that I found online where this man compares the Solomon's Temple blueprint. He shows that really it represents a man, a high priest actually, or a human being. The pillars in the front actually represent the legs of the high priest. And the high priest is standing on the bronze altar. Now here's the thing that fascinates me about the bronze altar. Whenever I was looking up a description of this altar, I found out that it had a network of brass that formed a net on top of the altar. Now I found this interesting because the high priest is standing on top of this altar, which has a net. And of course we know in the John 21 story, Jesus Christ is giving the apostles instructions on how to raise this net to catch fish. And of course they caught 153 fish from Christ's instruction. The interesting thing about the high priest standing on top of the bronze altar is that it is made of bronze, and bronze contains copper and tin in biblical times. So the Rh negative person, all over the internet, it says that we have copper blood. If that is true, then using copper in the tabernacle and the temple is also a way of identifying the Israelite race and the Grails that have the copper blood or the Rh negative blood type.
God.
What?
You're playing games with me.
No, I'm not.
What did you just do?
I sang.
Yeah. I know. Come down here. Sing again, would you? Jesus, you bring me luck. Would you look at that? My God,
What?
that's weird. Salmon.
Weird?
You don't get salmon trawling.
Surely.
Only with a gill net.
Curious, I'm curious.
Where did you hear that?
Alice said it.
To the White Rabbit. And he says it too.
Annie.
My daughter. Jesus Christ.